And here we are, guys. Welcome to another Best of 7 showdown between King of the Dead and our returning champion, who's going to be Felkon. So you guys saw Felkon play a couple days ago against Rydist, and he had a really good showing. So I'm quite excited to see how he does against King of the Dead. And apparently these guys play each other quite a bit. A little bit of a rivalry going back and forth, so it should be quite a bit of fun. So guys, thank you so much for joining today. I know it's the middle of the week. Some of you guys are probably at work, but I know most of you guys in Europe are probably just wrapping up your day. So I tried to start a little bit earlier, and hopefully that will suit your schedules. So thank you guys so much, and let's go ahead, get into the game, and let the players know they can start when they're ready. So again, this is going to be a best of 7, and this particular event is not tied to any other sort of event. The Eternal Challenger League is going to be having its finals on February 9th, which is a Saturday. There's going to be a trailer coming out relatively soon, which is going to be giving all the details and the brackets and all that kind of fun stuff. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, these are just kind of standalone streams. It's very similar to what we used to do back in the day. So when I first started streaming, one of the first tournament formats I started doing, because originally I mainly just did my own, just playing the quick battles, right? But the first, we just did best of 7s and just had people play. So Wookiee's there. Yeah, Wookiee's blocking the screen. He's good. Oh, you're saying you want a screen snipe? Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, but anyways, it's a really fun kind of casual format. You get to see, competitive games, and yeah, it's pretty easy to structure as well. So thank you guys for joining, and let's get this show on the road. Start when ready. All right. And they're ready. They got their matchups. These guys are way ahead of schedule. And Nathan Hewitt, thank you for the $5 donation. Here's for 7 games. I need some spice at work this afternoon. Well, I will do my best to get you through your day at the office. So I got you, man. I'm going to try whatever influence I have. And first, we have the Vampire Coast facing off against Naggarith. So I know that Felkon loves to use the Lithnar. It's like his favorite thing in the game. So, well, dragons and the Lithnar. So we're going to see maybe some Shadow King action. And he makes it work, too. That's what's really great about seeing him use that guy. I mean, he's beaten me with the Lithnar pretty good before. So it's really fun. Yeah, prime European time. I know in the UK, what is it, like 8:30? And then, Central and Eastern Europe, I think it's like 9:30, 10:30 time, give or take. Yes. Hello, Craig. Welcome. And we're going to see if King of the Dead can usurp the champion from our last best of 7, which is going to be Felkon. Felkon definitely, man, those games he put on last time, especially that first Wood Elf game with the Wood Elf like Blitz build against the Empire Heavy Cav. Like, who would have thought that would work? But Helm of Discord plus the Forest Dragon definitely did a pretty amazing job. Lidinar. Yeah, we're going to see how crazy he can get. King of the Dead trying to stream snipe. It's okay, he can't see Felkon's army anyway, so... Even if you wanted to. I'm pretty sure they're in chat together right now. All right, so let's go ahead here. And it's go time. We're going to be on the Pillar of Bone. Always a good way to kind of start. It has a combination of like fun Vanguard deployments. So up here in the hills, you can do some Vanguards if you want with like Shadow Warriors or, you know, any sort of, you know, other units, right? Scurvy Dogs, you name it. And it has some nice open field as well. So it's going to be good for Vampire Coast, but if, you know, the High Elves want a little bit of cover, they can simply deploy on the hill here. They can deploy in Vanguard in the trees. They have some pretty good options. So, oh my goodness, look at this army. Look at this army from the Vampire Coast. So firstly, let me make sure the screen blocker is gone so you guys are all in good shape there, and it is gone. All right, so for the armies of the King of the Dead, true to his name, playing the undead forces here. Got it. Century up. Okay. Got the time zones. I'm working my business here, trying to remember all the different time zones. But so King of the Dead is going to have an entire front line of halberds and zombie deckhand mobs. Pretty standard stuff. Halberds are a very good pick against High Elves because if they decide to go a little bit more elite with infantry, at the very least, these zombie pirate deckhand mobs do have decent armor piercing value. So you can see they have 27 weapon strength, which is no joke for how cheap they are. And, you know, 19 of that is going to be armor piercing. Bonus for its large is also quite pertinent against High Elves and their monsters. So these guys are going to be good against White Lions. White Lions will obviously win, but for the cost, these zombies will do well. On top of that, we got some Krabby Patties. We got Rotting Prometheans. We got 2 groups in the back, and we do also have a Vampire Fleet Captain on a Promethean. So King of the Dead going with a massive Crab Inquisition here. That is a lot of Crabby boys. And for his leadership, he does have Celestia, and she's going to be on her Crab as well. So double Rotting Leviathan. Now, the High Elves historically have had problems dealing with like big monsters, but it looks like Felkon has come pretty prepared. He does have 3 groups of these Sisters of Averlorn plus a Lithanar. So I do not know how those crabs are going to survive. I mean, it looks like King of the Dead invested most of his army in these like heavy crabs. And I mean, Sisters of Slaughter are designed to kill such units. On top of that, they do fire damage and magic damage. So the magic damage, I think, is going to be pertinent against a couple of these units. Celestia has physical resist, but yeah, they're going to completely circumvent that 10%, but it's not the big deal anyways. But I'm a little bit concerned for this Vampire Coast army. He does have the crab summons, but he does also have the Drowned Dead, so he can summon to the back line, but I don't know. So for the forces of Felkon, it looks like in the front, he does have White Lions, Spearmen. I mean, the front line of the High Elves is going to win this engagement. He also has a Lore Master of Hoeth, who is something you don't see terribly often. Spirit Leech and Earthblood on that bad boy. He's going to be dropping some fat heals probably on the front line. Yeah, I would guess the White Lions. 2 groups of Silver Helms with Shields, another good choice against the Vampire Coast Powder. And 3 groups of the Sisters of Averlorn, it looks like. Yeah, 3 groups, and none of them are the Regiments of Renown. And of course, what Felkon build would be complete without a Lithanar, the Shadow King? Yeah. Oh man, I'm definitely a little bit nervous here for the Vampire Coast army. I do not know how those big Krabby Patties, the Rotting Leviathans, are going to be holding up against this missile pressure. I mean, the Sisters of Averlorn and Lithanar himself has massive armor piercing on his bow. Oh man, I think that King of the Dead went really all in and trying to surprise him, but there's a chance that the crabs, I mean, could push through the front line with their mass and get on top of the Sisters, summon crabs and cause some disruption. I mean, there's not like a lot of high mass units for the High Elves here, so there is a chance that the crabs could kind of bully their way through and cause problems, but quite eager to see how that goes. Start anytime. No need to wait for me once in game. Yep. Yeah, valid. You just got to shoot me a message in the Discord. Typically, yeah. All right, so the game's underway. Lithanar is going to be running forward, shooting his massive bow into some zombies. Of course, he's just on auto fire, but he's going to be switching on to the crabs immediately. In King of the Dead, you can see the crabs are like, nope, I'm out of here. So the crabs look like they're kind of like playing some bumper cards right here, not sure. But yeah, you can see he's going to be pathing them, and Celestia is going to have to get really good use out of her damn Knights Errant and you know, push those guys into the back. But man, these crabs are not going to have a good time. These undead Krabby Patties are going to do a little bit of work when they first charge, but the amount of firepower coming in from the Sisters, oh my god. So this is the Lamprey's Revenge, the Arwars, right? The gunnery mob. So the ones with the gunnery mobs in the back. But they're going to get melted. So immediately he loses 1,500 gold, like right out of the gate. So that's very tough. I mean, it's an acceptable loss if you can get some summons back there, but you can see here that Felkon is very heavily set up. He does have these Silver Helms and the other troops waiting here. And oh my goodness, look at the focus fire coming in from this elvish force here. The Vampire Fleet Captain with Vampires just getting pounded by that focus fire, just annihilated. Invocation of the Heck trying to keep it alive, and Celestia's trying to get back there with some summons, and it looks like she does summon the damn Knight Errants. But obviously Felkon was very aware of that. I mean, it's the only thing he can really do. Oh my god, look at this. This is like a flashback of the last stream. Now, it's very possible for Vampire Coast to beat builds like this. What you simply have to do is you get mortars, you get a couple scurvy dogs and ranged harass tools and fellbats and things like that. But King of the Dead went super hard in on this this particular build here, going with the big crabs. And this big crab, the Celestia, is going to be pinned down by the Silverhelms, who aren't going to do much damage, especially with the Song of Enthrallment, but it doesn't matter. They just need to hold it in place. The other crab has gotten back here. The Rotting Leviathan doing a decent job kind of disrupting the back line, but the bounce power massively in the favor of the High Elves right now, especially considering the fact he doesn't have a Vampire Caster anymore. I'm pretty sure the Vampire's Caster got trash canned. But if you see here, the Prometheans in the front, I mean, at the very least, he is buying some time. Celestia is, able to cause some distraction back there. And the crabs have beaten down the White Lion. So there are some elements of this battle that are going pretty well for the Crabby boys. That initial damage they took is just not good and tasty at all. So Celestia is taking a bit of a pounding right now. And it looks like she's going to be summoning some crabs here, which is going to be useful. But just, she's crumbling. There's no invocation of Nehek left. And, this big crab can only take on so many of these sisters. So if we look around, the Helms are going to be charging in, just kind of disrupting the zombie advance. But the front line of the Elves definitely lost the battle in many respects. I mean, there's a ton of zombos over here. But again, Felkon has a couple spearmen that he hasn't engaged yet. And the crab summons are going to be attacking the sisters, but they can simply run, and the crabs are going to degenerate. And you can see here that Celestia has been sent to the Shadow Realm. Now, the bounce power is relatively even. No, it's a little bit in the favor of the High Elves, which I'm actually surprised it's not more heavily in the... I mean, he's lost his caster, he's lost Celestia, he has lost a lot of his resources. He still does have some crabs fighting, but again, the Silverhelms and the Spears should be able to make pretty quick work of those guys. And yeah, White Lions actually do a pretty good job in this matchup. They still got a fair amount of kills, even being 2v1 by zombies and crabs. So the Rotting Leviathan's going to be marching with its shotguns on the back, trying to get on these sisters here. The Summon Crabs actually doing a very good job chasing down those Sisters of Averlorn, but the Shadow King is just sitting happily. He's comfy. He's been shooting his bow this entire game, which if he's allowed to do that and he's not really pressured, he can do some really huge damage. You can see he has 416 missile damage on the bow here with great armor piercing. So the Crab's going to be going down here, and the Rotting Leviathans are going to be trying to push forward with a couple very tattered Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, but the High Elves have a ton of Spears, and Spears 1-to-1 will beat Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs if memory serves. And yeah, in the back, the Summon Crabs are, like I said, laying a bit of a spanking on these guys, but it's just too little too late. I think that Celestia getting nuked, and King of the Dead letting his Vampire Caster take that beating. I mean, seeing those sisters, he maybe should have kept the Vampire Caster like hidden in the tree somewhere, and just used Invocation of Nehek, and overcasted the drowned summons, drowned dead, the drowned dead in the back line to get some good value. But from here, that's going to be all she wrote. So well played to Felkon. What a very decisive first game here, trying to set the pace. And the Crabbies have been taken to the Outback Steakhouse, the Lobster Shack, and they've been melted down. And the High Elves are going to be feasting well on some rotten crabs tonight. So well played. Felkon coming in with his signature High Elf play, using the Shadow King Elithanar, but with no dragons. I was expecting a dragon. That's the other part of his whole kit that he really likes to accentuate, is the dragon play. But yeah, that was pretty nasty for sure. But well, I think that King of the Dead was like trying to really overcommit to one thing, and that if he didn't prepare for that one thing, he would have lost the game. But Felkon obviously was very, very prepared for that. Now, in order to beat the Sisters of Averlorn, if you bring 2 mortars and, like I said, Scurvy Dogs and Fellbats, you're going to be able to beat a build like this pretty easily. But in that case, he went in with the Crabs, and the Crabs did not pay their they did not pay their dues. That's going to be 1-0 for Felkon. We're going to go into game 2 here. And it is a best of 7. So there's going to be a lot of games, and from what I understood, these guys usually go like 50-50 against each other and have some pretty even games. So don't worry, guys. You got many more games coming in today. So the Crabs were roasted. The Crabs were roasted. Yeah, and I mean, even if one player does win in a convincing faction, it's still a good game, to answer your question, Eric. I mean, it's just, yeah, the one player, had a very good plan, and it was executed well. Now, Vampire Coast, I don't think that game is an accurate reflection of Vampire Coast's state in the Festdog update. I personally think that Vampire Coast is still a top-tier faction. But, I mean, the things that were nerfed were mainly deck droppers. The other things that you saw there weren't really nerfed in the first place. So, yes. Yes. Yeah, the date for the Eternal Challenger League Finals is going to be February 9th. At 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's going to be a trailer coming out this week. I was kind of waiting to tell you guys, but it's getting close. So I was like, hey, I'll just tell you guys on stream when we're all chatting. But the grand finals are going to be on February 9th, 11 a.m. And I'm going to be casting with Italian Spartacus. So he's going to be coming over here. He lives pretty close by. And we're going to be casting the whole day. It's like the Ever-Chosen style. There's going to be like, a lot of games that day. A lot. It's going to be probably 4 to 5 hours. So the crab sticks got buttered for sure. They got buttered. They got... Every possible analogy you can refer to, it's there, So King of the Dead is going to be going with the... What did Felkon say? Oh my god. Okay, you just said GG. Okay. Oh, yeah, you know, I should have tried spectator mode today. I actually didn't. Or, you know, where I can host. I haven't tried that. Because I remember in the beginning it kind of, you know, lag a little bit, or crash occasionally, but I think it's probably fixed now. Yeah, the build was very iffy, but it seemed like it was a bit of an experimental build, trying to catch Felkon off guard with something like just tons of armor. Because historically, High Elves used to struggle against armor until they got Sisters of Averlorn and a couple other changes. So maybe it was kind of, you know, trying something a little different. But hey, you know, you gotta try new things every now and then. The Dawe. Dwarves are definitely my favorite. I love playing dwarves. The Lithanar was a beast. Yeah, the Eternal Challenger is going to be quite a bit of fun. We have the 8 players who've all qualified, including Felkon. He's one of the gentlemen who qualified. And yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm going to be making a trailer. There's actually a video that's being made by Eric the Red that's going to have see, it's going to be fun. Just hang tight for a couple days, guys. You're going to get all the details very, very soon. All right, so Felkon is ready. He's going to be playing the Lizardmen versus the Vampire Counts. There's a couple of different ways Counts can play this. You can go Terrorgeist. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the Vargulfs. Vargulfs are one of my favorite things in this matchup because they hit and they move and they're just very, very annoying. So start when ready. All right, it's go time. Yeah, thank you guys for joining today. I see we have 403 folks with new people coming in. We are in game 2 of this best of 7 between King of the Dead and Felkon. Felkon, of course, representing the Extreme Meme team. And I'm not sure what the clan is, AIMA, for King of the Dead. I've never actually asked him what that is, so. Looks like we have some fan favorites here. I might play in Sotek's tournament on Friday. Yeah, I still have to make a video on the last one, because I played in Sotek's tournament last Friday with the Dwarves, and it was super fun, his tabletop tournament. So I'm going to be making a video with a breakdown for that and everything. Elite Dwarf armies aren't very good, unfortunately, in competitive play. They have niches. There's a couple times where you can catch people off guard with them, but for the most part, they just don't do the trick. The way to play dwarves is to go, because what's strong about dwarves is even the lowliest of dwarf infantry either have good armor or really good leadership, or both. So like a dwarf warrior has high leadership and good armor. So you really need to take advantage of going wide, maximizing the efficiency of armor and leadership, therefore opening up gun and missile play. That's really the best way to play the dwarves. So. Fly on Bread. Yes, I binge watched all of the extended edition of The Lord of the Rings in a single go. I have. I actually did that. It's been a couple years, maybe like 3 or 4 years. But Anna and I, my lovely wife, we watched, when I went to Poland to see her, we actually watched Lord of the Rings like all the way through. Like we just watched like all 3. It wasn't the extended that time, but I have watched the extended in one go before. A couple. I think I've actually done it twice. It's so good. Nothing beats Lord of the Rings. That's so good. All right, Wookie, thank you for your service there. And we are here with the game. So, for the forces of Felkon, definitely not surprised. I know he loves his Temple Guard and his big dinos here. So, he does have Temple Guard. Yeah, so Temple Guard here on the far side. So, yeah, 2 groups of Temple Guard. The center is going to be Saurus and Temple Guard as well, which are pretty good. Anti-large, armor piercing. You know, obviously going to be able to deal with a lot of the vampiric monsters. So, for the sake of King of the Dead, I certainly hope that he has some Graveguard here. Does he have some? It looks like he has the Konigstein Stalkers, Stearnsmen, Graveguard, but he does not have the armor-piercing variant, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to get through Temple Guard. Granted, Temple Guard aren't super heavily armored, but it's still helpful. On top of that, it looks like Felkon does have a Feral Carnosaur and Ancient Stegodon. So the Ancient Stegodon is ready to party, and it's quite good against the blobs. Like, you send it in, it has a machine gun on its back, it can ramrod through Graveguard and other troops like that, so I like this pick. On top of that, he has Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt is going to have Curse of the Midnight Wind, Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, as well as Nets of Emnatar. So, pretty diverse spell kit. Not going to have Winds of Magic for all of that, but it looks like he wanted to just play it safe. I think he did bring the Sunburst. Yeah, this also gives melee defense, so it's definitely worth bringing the Sunburst Standard. And a couple skinks, but a very elite army. You can see the Lizards aren't really going to be going for any like wide battlefield control, but rather they're just going to be going very narrow, very elite, and very monster heavy. And for the forces of King of the Dead, it looks like it's going to be very chaffy in the front line. He does have Skeleton Warriors, which I think would be very nice to have like a Corpse Cart here, and it looks like he does. So he has the Corpse Cart with Unholy Lodestone, which is going to be giving melee attack and healing and melee defense to all these troops. So if he can get in like a blob fight versus dinos, it could be good, but again, you also don't want to do that because Lord Mazdamundi with his, not Apotheosis, but his Banishment, his Ruination of Cities, and just the thickness of those Stegodons is going to be very scary. Spears in the back, we got Heinrich Kemmler. Kemmler will be okay. Krell has anti-large, but the problem with Krell is that most good players can simply kite him until he disappears. And on top of that, we do also have a double Vargulf. So the Vargulfs are pretty good. They're going to be able to beat the brakes off Lord Mazdamundi as well as the other Ancient Stegodon. The thing they're going to struggle with, though, is the Feral Carnosaur. So, I mean, maybe if you can focus down the Feral Carnosaur, get it to rampage into like some Skeleton Spears or some Chaff, and then from there he should be able to take on the other big dinos. So we'll see. it's a good build by both players. I like it. The only thing that would be better, but obviously he doesn't know how Felkon's going to play, is that Graveguard with Great Opens would be useful against these Temple Guard for sure. So here we go. Battle's underway. It looks like there are some doggos up in the trees. So the direwolves are going to be doing some initial scouting, just kind of looking around, seeing if there's any bread they can butter, but there's not really any targets for them except this one group of skink skirmishers. On the far side, the dire pack's coming in, and it looks like the doggies might be going in for a side charge here. I don't know how well this is going to go, but they're going to be jumping on those skinks, and they actually get a couple of kills right on impact. And the skinks are going to be taking some massive damage before the reinforcements come in. So the dogs should definitely just retreat and kind of it looks like they're going to get an apotheosis out as well. So these dogs might crumble, but at the very least they forced an apotheosis. That's one more healing spell that isn't going to be used on a bigger target, right? So that was a pretty good little engagement there by King of the Dead. So the rest of the forces are going to be pushing in. We do have these Skeleton Warriors, the Konigstein Stalkers, all these bad boys ready to party, and here come the 2 Vargals. So you guys ready for some ping pong? Here we go. And oh no, they got the double Gorilla Slap right there. So they slapped at Mazdamundi a little bit, but they need to watch out for that Feral Carnosaur, because Mazdamundi is going to be debuffing them. I mean, King needs to turn and run like this way. It looks like he's a little bit blocked up here. And it looks like Heinrich Kemmler is going to be summoning Krell. So Krell does have anti-large, has pretty good armor piercing as well. And it looks like the rest of the Vampire Count force is going to be waiting in. And the Corpse Guard is also going to be very useful for buffing up the Vargulfs, right? The Vargulfs are going to get extra melee attacking, melee defense, but a very nice Curse of the Midnight Wind going down here. But yeah, I mean, in the attrition fight, the Vampire Counts should have the advantage. The Vargulfs, have a lot of healing capabilities here, especially with Heinrich Kemmler and Invocation of the Heck. And you can see here that the golems, the feasters in the dusk, and the dogs in the back, they should just rear charge these swords, honestly, and start grinding them down. But the Vargulf's doing a little bit of work. They should definitely just turn and start beating on this Feral Carnosaur. If they can kill and break the Feral Carnosaur and then chase it off with some of these dogs, that could be game-breaking for sure. It looks like Heinrich Kemmler is being hunted. He does pop the Cloak of Mist and Shadows to give him some resistance. We have some golems on the side, these crypt ghouls that are going to be fighting Saurus, which isn't bad. The poison going to be quite pertinent here. And here come the boys. So the double Vargulfs are going to be going after Mazdamundi. So instead of going after the Carnosaur, he's going to be going after his Lord Thickness himself. And he gets a little bit of damage. But Mazdamundi isn't the easiest of targets. And the direwolves in the back getting some decent value and a nice little surround. But these Temple Guard are going to be really tough to grind down. You can see wherever the Temple Guard are fighting, they're just like, they've lost like 4 models and they're just beating the brakes off these Vampire Count's forces. But over here, it's going a little bit better, I suppose. They have the Saurus partially surrounded, but the Vargulfs are going to have to do the heavy lifting. And here you go. This is good. Go after the Feral Carnosaur, get it to Rampage, force out the Cold Bloods, and then from there, hopefully, he's going to be able to do some work. Felkon doing a very good job, though, with the Jabba and his other dinosaurs staying away from those guys. But this Ancient Stegodon actually took quite a bit of damage. I didn't see that, but the Vargulfs must have done some work. Perhaps it was the great Krell. So Krell's going to be charging in here. You can see he's got his axe out, and he's going to be karate chopping that Feral Carnosaur. So that's good. They Rampage the Carnosaur. But Felkon's going to be responding in kind. I'm sure that he has a Cold Blood that he's saving, but so far so good. The Vargulf play here from King of the Dead has been very, very solid. The machine guns from the Stegodons going off, and a nice ruination of cities over there, although it looks like it might have broken the Saurus a little bit more. No, it hit those crypt ghouls pretty hard. So the skinks in the back are going to be compromised, obviously, by the skeletons. Heinrich Kemmler just cackling and running about in the bushes. And Krell is still going. I mean, Krell's at his healing cap, I think, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's providing that extra armor piercing that's sort of kind of forcing the dinosaur's hand here. So the Feral Carnosaur is going to be rampaging over here. Well, not rampaging, but, metaphorically speaking. And he's going to be attacking some Skeleton Warriors, as well as the other Stegodon. And it looks like the Vargulfs are going to be kind of changing trajectories. They're much faster. These bad boys have 80 speed, and I think Feral Carnosaurs have 75. Well, I guess that's not a big difference, but, the Hutt's, Jabba the Hutt here on his Stegodons have, speed, I think, in, the 50s or something. So the Vargulf speed is really going to play into account here. Krell, in the meantime, going to be lending his armor piercing to the frontline fight, and a Curse of the Midnight Wind going down, which is going to be pretty good, lowering all these stats here of the Sternsmen and these other Vampire Counts troops, and a Shield of the Old Ones from Felkon. So pretty good stuff there. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a bit of a sandwich. The 2 Stegodons going in, and oh, that Vargulf gets ramrodded. But Invocation of the Heck really keeping those guys topped off, and you can see that the dinosaur leadership is getting a little bit beat up, guys. I mean, across the board, they're all at about half health. And these Vargulfs are very healthy. King of the Dead has done a great job pulling back and making sure to use those invocations, and also using Krell Daddy. So Krell just beast moding it, just wading through these guys, going for the big targets, and you could even use Krell to take on the Temple Guard. But it looks like the Vampire Counts are pushing forward. A huge banishment going down. So the banishment, ooh, that actually tore up those Temple Guard really, really bad. That is really, really unfortunate there for Felkon. The trajectory of that was not good. It's tearing up a lot of his own troops here. Krell's still going. He's getting a little bit low due to his unbinding here, but it looks like Felkon might be going for a bit of a desperate snipe. If he's able to take out Heinrich Kemmler, that could be extremely powerful and get him back in this game, which I think the Vampire Counts are in pretty solid control over. But yeah, Heinrich Kemmler is a little bit tricky to kill on a horse, because now he does have the horse, right, from the Vampire Coast DLC. And he also has the Cloak of Mist and Shadows, which is giving him 75% resist, which is helping quite a bit. So yeah, the Lizardmen infantry pretty beat up. Temple Guard are pretty much offline here. I mean, they have a little bit more stopping power, but not much. 54 Temple Guard here is pretty nice, and the Saurus on the far side are taking a bit of a beating. The Vampire Counts still have their Corpse Cart, which is buffing all these troops up, and there's the Rampage on the Feral Carnosaur. And Heinrich Kemmler, look at him going on his horse. He's doing the thing. He's happy. He's happy. Look at him go. Heinrich Kemmler's getting away. There's a big Stegodon chasing him, but he should be fine. I mean, he's getting poisoned. Yeah, that poison. Oh my goodness, the poison might allow him to be caught, but I don't think so. I think that the Stegodon isn't going to be able to get him. Heinrich Kemmler is pretty swift on his little horse here. But the Vargulfs, like I said, I actually think they're a much better pick than Terrorgeist in this matchup. Number one, because like Terrorgeist, when they get pinned down, it's like it's a little bit tricky. But these guys are so sticky. And yeah, they're just really, really fast. They hit hard, and they're doing the job. So this Feral Carnosaur getting spanked on. Oh my goodness, he got gorilla slapped. So that Feral Carnosaur taken out by these vampiric beasts, and now the Vargulfs are just going to have their way with this Ancient Stegodon. I mean, they're just going to annihilate this thing. And from here, it looks like the Vampire Counts and King of the Dead are going to tie up the series 1-1. Krell's going to be moving after Lord Jabba the Hutt here, and Heinrich Kemmler just cackling in the shadows. And yeah, just running circles, just being an evil necromancer and, you know, enjoying his life, which is quite solid. So the Ancient Stegodon's going to be trotting in. The Vargulfs are just happily prancing. Look at them, just they kind of have like a gait of like a puppy or something. Krell doing a couple karate chops before he goes into the Sweet Night with his 9 HP, but he's able to do quite a bit of damage to Lord Jabba here. And yeah, I'm telling you, the Corpse Cart, it's something that you don't really notice because it doesn't seem like big, but having a Corpse Cart here healing this entire time saves you so much on Invocation of Nehek. But that melee attack buff, especially for like the monsters, is super good. The Vargulf's getting a big juicy buff to their melee attack and melee defense. I mean, 5 and 5 is very substantial. So from here, Lord Jabba's going to be trying to put up a fight, but yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble. He does have the Harmonic Convergence over here and Shield of the Old Ones, which is going to keep some of these guys fighting. And there still are Temple Guard going, but I just think that the double Vargulfs and the number of the Vampire Count's forces left, I mean, there's zombies coming in, and yeah, I don't know. Up here especially, it's hard to say though. I mean, you can see the Vampire Counts are getting a little bit tattered up. I mean, their troops, yeah, but the Vargulfs, like, I don't know how he's going to deal with the Vargulfs. Those things are just, they're healthy, they're angry, although this one is taking a bit of a beating here. Yeah, he needs to finish off one of these Stegodons. Pull back this Vargulf and start cycle charging with it, and use the other one just to kind of tank and spank here. Heinrich Kemmler might even be going in for an Evo Cackling Necromancer charge, so he's going to be riding in the back here, maybe thinking about getting in here using a Zombie Summon, and it looks like he might be able to take out 1 or 2 Temple Guard on the initial charge, and he's pretty much just lending his mass to this fight, but Vampire Count's in a pretty commanding position still, I would say. This Ancient Stegodon has 752 HP. It does get the Cold Blood to keep it fighting, so very, very well played by Felkon here. Yeah, I mean, if Heinrich Kemmler were to go down, maybe that would open up an avenue for the Lizardmen to get back into this. But yeah, that Vargulf is so healthy. 400 HP on this bad boy, and Heinrich Kemmler and as well as the Vargulf are both doing quite a bit of damage. 90 HP, and it looks like there's going to be another Zombie Summon coming down just to kind of muck him down, and he's done for. So the Vargulf finishes off the other Ancient Stegodon, and now it's only a matter of time before Lord Hutt here is going to be going down to the Vargulf as well. Heinrich Kemmler could do some cycle charging. But let's see, Vampire Counts have a couple Graveguard left. The Corpse Guard really buffing up the zombies. It puts the zombies up to 10 and 11 for their respective combat stats. And the Vargulf needs to be careful. Maybe start cycle charging these Temple Guard until you can break them. It's hard to say. I don't know. This is actually becoming a relatively close fight, it would seem. Right? It's getting there. It's getting there. Anyways, yeah, so Jabba the Hutt's going to be running a little bit. Vargulf's going to be chasing him. A bit of a bold move sending Heinrich Kemmler in there amongst all those Temple Guard. And there's still, you know, a fair amount of them. There's 24 here, and it looks like there's 31 Temple Guard here. The Vargulf's going to be kind of going on Masta Money, who does have 21 leadership, 1,500 HP, now down to 1,300. And it looks like Felkon's going to be breaking due to army losses. But that actually ended up being kind of close there at the end. But it looks like King of the Dead is going to be pulling out Game 2 in this Best of 7 series. Yes, yes. Wow. That was good. That was a good one. All right, guys. So that is going to be Game 2 for King of the Dead. So let me go ahead and update the scoreboard. And we're going to go ahead and put Wookiee on. And I saw a couple donations that I missed, so let me go ahead and get to those. GG. And we got the screen blocker. All is well in the realm. And all right. So Dov plays with the $2 donation. The time for union dues. Thanks, man. Zardar Total War says, my money is on Felkon. Sorry, King. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Cheap Death, $5 donation, says, glad I'm off today to catch a stream. Thanks for all the great content, Turin, and all the players. Thank you for joining, man. And also thank you for the donation. I'm going to be trying to do these Best of 7 streams during the week and also have the bigger tournaments on the weekends, like, you know, 4-player flash tournaments and things like that. And Rando with the $20 or 20, yeah, can't quite see that. My laptop's really small, but it looks like it's 20 euros, I think. So thank you so much, Rando, for the $20 donation. It means a lot, and hopefully you're enjoying the content as well. Yeah. Yeah, those Vargulfs are really good. I'm telling you, they're really good against Tomb Kings as well. They like pound Tomb Scorpions to dust and do a very, very solid job in doing so. So now King of the Dead is going to be pulling out his namesake, and he's going to be playing the Tomb Kings, which I believe is his favorite faction. So let's go ahead. This stupid webcam is just like causing mad drama. All right, I'm going to get some water. Oh man, there's some crazy construction going on next door. Just straight up anarchy out there. Leo Gonzalez with the $5 donation. He says, I'm going to butter the bread of Turin with this donation. Well, thank you, man. Means a lot. You know what, Thomas? Earbuds don't... The bread has been buttered, Leo. The earbuds don't hurt, actually. But what bothers me are like big headphones, like the esports caster headphones. Because those things, like, I have Dumbo ears. Like, you can't tell because my hair is kind of long right now, but my ears really stick out really far. So it gets a little bit obnoxious, to be fair. And we got a series on our hands, guys. 1-1 right now. My dude's going to run out of undead factions really quick. Yeah. I told the guys that if they both agree on it and they want to, they can play the same factions again as long as the matchup's different. So I've given them that option because both of them had expressed interest in maybe repeating factions later on. So it's up to these guys, but typically I don't let them. But in a best of 7 where you're just kind of grinding, it's like, yeah. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, Shetland, do you have the same issue? Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, my friend. I got the Dumbo ears. Alas, there's not much I can do about that. So 2 very good games so far between King and Felkon. 1-1 here in the series. Felkon taking the first one in a very convincing fashion with the High Elves, but King of the Dead coming back with a beautiful Vampire Council to take on the forces of the Lizards. I don't have long ears, Wraith. My ears are like Dumbo ears, so they just stick out sideways. Like if you see, I'm gonna get a short haircut relatively soon, and you'll see they just like stick out like straight sideways, like straight up Dumbo ears, which is pretty funny. It's a genetic thing. It's been in my family forever. We all have that. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, my friends. One second here, and game's underway. I saw the screen like turn black for a second. I was like, no crashing, bad. Bad crash. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, the Lizards did good. All right, here we go. Yes. So we're going to be on another very common multiplayer map. I don't know how to really say it, to be honest. I'm not even going to try, but yeah. Thank you, Humongous. Thank you, man. Okay, here we go. Tomb Kings facing off against the Wood Elves. Now, when the patch first came out, the Tomb Kings first came out, one of their hardest counters was actually the Wood Elves. But again, Tomb Kings players have evolved quite a bit since then, and they've learned that the Horsemen actually aren't bad. So using the Nehekar Horsemen, Skeleton Horsemen, Archers, you wouldn't think they would be good because you're just going to be like, the Wood Elves do it better, but they actually can be, quite good in numbers, and they're very, very cheap, so they can usually have a bit of a swarming effect. So for the forces of King of the Dead, it looks like he does have 4 groups of the Skeleton Horsemen Archers, I believe, which, 4, is he? Actually, it's only 2. It looks like those are all Nehekar Horsemen or Skeleton Horsemen, but nonetheless, Skeleton Horsemen should do an okay job against some of these Way Watchers and other targets if they can, oh man, this is rough though. This initial focus fire is going to be nasty. On top of that, Skeleton Horsemen Archers are quite good against War Dancers and units like that. We got Skeleton Horsemen, 2 groups of Carrion, which are also very good for harassing, scouting. Way Watchers, of course, have stock, so being able to kind of find those guys and get them out of the rat's nest is always pretty good. And for the main army, it looks like he's going to have Skeleton Warriors and Tomb Guard in the front line. So Tomb Guard also put up a pretty good fight. They have really good melee defense and decent weapon strength, so they'll be okay against like Eternal Guard. They'll beat them easily. I don't know how the fight goes against War Dancers, but anyways, match is underway here. You can see that the Way Watchers are going to be just unleashing hell on the Skeleton Horsemen Archers, but really King of the Dead didn't take that much damage, and at the very least, he is wasting the ammunition of those Way Watchers. Granted, they probably do want to take out the mobility, so the Carrion are going to be flying over here. It looks like the Glade Lord up here is going to be the male Glade Lord with the Helm of Discord, so he's really going to be preparing for that melee fight. And on top of that, he does have a Tomb Prince, and it looks like Ark in the Black for his leadership. So over here, it looks like we might have a bit of a battle between the Wild Riders and the Nehekar Horsemen, which is a very bold strategy. I mean, Wild Riders are so much stronger. And King of the Dead is going to be committing to this fight, which I think is playing into Felkon's hands because the Helm of Discord is going down. I mean, that's going to be absolute punishment. Now, the frontline fight is about to be underway. A little bit of cycle charging from the Skeleton Horsemen on the flanks. Skeletons going to be engaging War Dancers. There definitely needs to be some rear charging with the Horsemen against these guys. But the Tomb Guard are going to fight the War Dancers, which is going to be a relatively even fight. But Ark in the Black dropping the Libra Mortis over here, and it looks like he's going to be dropping a Skeleton Summon in the back. So that's very good. It's going to pin in a lot of these models, including the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, and hopefully he's going to be able to, for his sake, get a couple kills here. Now, it looks like there's a life caster. He might be able to pick off that caster. It looks like she's a little bit, you know, kind of tar-pitted up. In the back, the Carrion are going to be chasing down the Way Watchers, getting a little bit of value there. And in the front line, it looks like the Tomb Guard are putting up a good fight against the War Dancers and are winning that very grindy combat. Although in the center, it looks like those War Dancers are doing well. So King of the Dead, despite the fighting over here, is going to be getting potentially some nice rear charges. I mean, he definitely needs to slam into the back of these War Dancers. He needs to win at least one aspect of this battle here. So beautiful charge. I mean, that's pretty much going to eradicate those guys. The War Dancers have very, very poor defensive stats. And the Tomb Kings look like they have a nice little grab here in the middle. I mean, the entire Wood Elf melee force is crumbling, but that's really not the main threat. The big threat is going to be, you know, the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, the Way Watchers, and the, you know, just the Dragon and all these big threats here, right? So it looks like King of the Dead did fully lose one group of his Nehekar Horsemen here, but really I don't think it's a big deal. He really did smash these War Dancers pretty badly. Nice breath attack coming down right there from the Dragon, able to get some decent value on top of those Tomb Guard, and it looks like the Wild Riders are going to be coming in to butter the bread of these Horsemen. But they are supported by Spears as well, so the Spears going to do a good job, and a very nice Fate of Buna going down on the Wild Hunters of Kurnus here, which is going to be very needed, and a beautiful rear charge coming in from the Nehekar Horsemen, just pounding these Wild Riders, doing an amazing job. So great play by both players. It seems that they're very, very evenly matched in regards to their micro. So the Wild Rider's trying to fall back, but that Fate of Buna just melted those Wild Hunters there. And the Dragon is in here now, but he's surrounded by Spears a little bit, and in a little bit of a dangerous situation. The Ushabti summon has been dropped from King of the Dead to help kill some of these Eternal Guard that are still here, but it was probably intended to be fighting these guys, the Wild Hunters, and these other targets. In the back, though, the Way Watchers are unleashing their ammunition, but it looks like most of their ammo is being used relatively, it's on like the Ushabti and the Skeletons and things like that, so I don't know if it's generating the most value, but I foresee that he's going to probably switch onto, you know, let's say Arkin as well as his Tomb Prince right here. So the Helm of Discord has been dropped, which is going to be a big, fat, juicy AoE debuff. But Arkin is in a pushover of a combatant, and he's also teamed up with the Tomb Prince here. So the Tomb Prince is an anti-large armor-piercing specialist, essentially designed to take on things like this Blade Lord. So if you look around the battlefield, the Way Watchers are still shooting in there. It looks like they're shooting at the Horsemen, who are shielded, so it's not going to be super effective. And there's still quite a few reserves here for King of the Dead. He does have Spears back here, a couple other troops. Looks like some cycle charging going on with the Skeleton Horsemen as well. But look at this. Felkon is actually losing his Glade Lord. So the Glade Lord here being taken out by the Tomb Prince and Ark in the Black with Spirit Leech. I mean, the Tomb Prince is a beast in melee. He's got juicy stats, huge anti-large bonus as well. So it looks like the Glade Lord is able to pull back up into the sky. There still is a life caster online for Felkon, and it looks like he's going to counter here with a bit of a breath attack, which does roast quite a few of those Tomb Guard as well as those Skeleton Spears there. So, battle is very, very even. Slight balance of power advantage for the Tomb Kings as they are really getting into the back line, and ultimately these Way Watchers just have not been that effective. There weren't any constructs really. There was no Tomb Scorpions, there was no like big threats. So the Way Watchers haven't really been able to kind of find those juicy targets. For the most part, they've been skirmishing against like lightly armored targets and skeletons and things like that, and it has not been terribly good and tasty for them. Now, the bounce power going even more in the Tomb King's favor. Granted, Felkon still could come back. I mean, the Dragon is very powerful. If it's able to get maybe a good jump on Ark in the Black and snipe him out, there could maybe be some sort of a way he could rally here, but the Tomb Kings are just pushing forward, this inexorable tide of the dead, and you can see the Skeletons are going to be pushing back the Eternal Guard, but basically the Wood Elves doing the correct move. They're just going to be kind of cleaning up their backline, rallying, and trying to get those fat Earthbloods to rejuvenate their army and get the bounce of power back towards the middle. And you can see right now the bounce power is kind of creeping back after that very nice Earthblood. It hits the Dragon, it hits the Caster, and all the different Cav units, and you know, those Wild Riders are going to be pretty annoying to deal with. They're very, very fast. So the Wild Riders here are going to be chasing down the Skeleton Archers, and yeah, the Archers are going to be going down here in a moment. Look at that, just like that, Felkon pulls the bounce of power back. Just very calm, very collected. He falls back, and he deals with the threats in his back line. And in the meantime, King of the Dead is going to be regrouping his forces, which is mostly Skeleton Spears. It looks like he does have some Nehekar Horsemen who he's going to be pulling back into the fight. I still think there's maybe a slight advantage for King of the Dead with the Tomb Prince, but yeah, that's a lot of Tomb King's infantry, and most of them are spears, so it's going to be tough for Wild Riders to find a home. So the Dragon's going to be charging in, probably looking to do some cycle charging, maybe going after Ark in the Black, but that Spirit Leech is going to be very, very valuable. It's going to just be guaranteed damage against a Glade Lord. Despite his kiting and, you know, cycle charging, he's not going to be able to really get away. Ooh, this is really rough. Felkon actually gets his life caster caught a little bit here by the Tomb Prince. So the Tomb Prince gets ahead of the caster and then pushes back inwards, and she's going to be taking a lot of damage. And I think that if King of the Dead can actually finish off that caster and chase her off the battlefield, that might be pretty tough. But ooh, a big breath attack coming in. So breath attack just roasting those skeletons, doing some substantial damage. But again, skeleton spearmen are a pretty cheap unit, so it's not like super devastating. But The Wild Riders are going to be charging in to try and save the caster. And Arkin the Black gets a little bit overextended. The Dragon, of course, gets some massive attacks right there on Arkin, and Arkin is immediately dropped to like half health. But you can also see that the Glade Lord is being shanked in the back by the Tomb Prince. So the Tomb Prince, of course, doing a very good job. And King of the Dead is going to be using a summon here. So he does summon some Skeleton Warriors to kind of pin those guys down, which is a very, very nice play. And the Wood Elves are fighting over here. A little bit of a scattered melee's going on, but yeah, the Tomb Kings have a big blob right there. And yeah, the fact that this dragon is being chased down is going to be very, very devastating. So it has 90 speed compared to 76, but it doesn't seem like it's able to get away. 109 HP. It might actually fall here. So the... Oh man, look at this guy. The true hero of Nehekara, this Tomb Prince right here, has just been putting this game on his back right here, doing an amazing job, and you can see from there the Wood Elves are actually going to be shattered. So well played to King of the Dead. Well played. That was a great game. Yeah, great game indeed. King of the Dead with a very, very nice Tomb Kings play, and he really played correctly. Wood Elves are oftentimes going to be trying to snipe your constructs with Way Watchers, and he didn't bring any. He just went super wide, brought a ton of harass, a ton of mobility, and really just kind of, you know, just harassed the whole battlefield, which was crazy. So, well played to King there. That's going to be a 2-1 advantage for him. Remember, this is a best of 7, so quite a few more games to come, most likely. So, guys, thank you so much for joining today. It's a pleasure to have all you guys in chat. Hopefully you're enjoying this midweek stream. I know it's not the most convenient time, as a lot of you guys are probably at work and whatnot, but, you know, we're trying. That was a great game, wasn't it? That Tomb Prince was a beast. I did tell the players they could play the same factions if they want, but it has to be different matchups, and both players have to agree on it. Because in a best of 7, I mean, it can get a little bit drawn out, like in terms of like what races. Like, you know, not every player is going to be good at every single race, right? So Felkon's going to be going with Norsca, and we're going to see what King can play. So, yes, yes. Who's this Italian shoemaker? What has he done to Turin? That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. GG indeed. We're on the Essence of Chaos, which is a very small map. Very, very small. It's good stuff here for sure. Yeah, greenskins actually. It's going to be greenskins versus the Norskins. All right, guys. Garland Green says, "Damn it! Now I want to start a Tomb Kings campaign." Hey Shetland, I'm glad to be of service, man. For all you do that for the community with your tournaments and everything. I mean, hopefully this is a way to repay it a little bit by entertaining you while you're at work. What's a good night before prep for physical? Hypnotize, firstly, thank you for the $10 donation. Man, you've been coming in just rock hard with those donations, Hypnotize. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to be recording some Gothic after this, or Battlefleet Gothic, so yeah, that'll be fun as well. You guys got that. But thank you, Hypnotize. God damn, for the 10. Hopefully I'm getting you through your workday. What's a good night before prep for a physical event the next day? I mean, typically, I mean, honestly, just getting good rest is like super important. And I often found that before like football games or track and field, or if I had like a sparring session coming up in boxing or something, I would usually just kind of like try and put my mind on something else, just so I'm not like sitting there thinking about it. But yeah. So we're gonna see King of the Dead with a 2-1 advantage over Felkon, and we're gonna see if he can take this. I mean, King would have to win his next 2 games to close out the series. So it's definitely a tough proposition, as all of these games have been very, very even and very hard fought. So definitely grateful for that. All right, let's see here. Cursive webcam. Italian shoemaker, I love it. No, I don't think we're going to see Grimgor. Garland Green says he's playing a 40k game tomorrow. My Necrons versus Grey Knights or Adeptus Mechanicus. Wish me luck. Good luck, man. If I could actually play another army aside from Death Guard, I would probably play the Necrons. Like, I love the Necrons. They're so cool. So good luck to you, man. Get those reanimation protocol rolls. And top 3 commentary phrases. Oh, man, Leo, there's too many. There's too many, man. A good book recommendation for getting into 40k. The Horus Heresy series is a pretty good place to start. Honestly, though, if you just want to like start... Yeah, it's kind of tricky because there's so many references to that heresy stuff. Like, and it explains the backstory so well, but it's so many goddamn books. Dark Imperium wasn't a great book, but it does give you a bit of a landscape of the contemporary 40k world. Yeah, it's hard, man. I'm not the most educated. I can give you Warhammer fantasy books to start, like Gotrek and Felix, the first omnibus. Just read that. But it's tricky. Doug Daniels, thank you, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. I love doing this. It's my favorite. So, greenskins versus Norsca. This is going to be interesting. King's build is definitely very ridiculous. I'm going to try Dwarf Furious. I'm going to try. I think Misha has a good assessment of my terminology. Itis, great stream as ever. Also, keep up the good work with Battlefleet Gothic. Makes good watching. All right, man. I will. I'm going to record a game or two after this, probably, if my hand is up to it, depending on how long this goes. Yeah, Necrons are basically just Space Tomb Kings, but I mean, they don't have it. They have some thematic similarities in terms of Egyptian, iconography and whatnot, and dynasties, but I mean, yeah, they're not like connected in lore in any way or anything. But hey, take care, GSL. Sorry you have to leave. Anna, when Lady Turn and I are like wrapping up for the night, we both like read. Like, well, we read different books, but we have the same interests. Like, she'll usually read like weird fiction or horror shorts, like, you know, Stephen King, H.P. Lovecraft, work that was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, and I'm usually reading like a 40K book or a Warhammer fantasy book. That's usually our repertoire. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Oh, are they waiting for me? Am I ready? All right. They're saying the lobby might be glitched, so we might need to jump out and make a new lobby. Professor Pwnware, the Gyro Bombers. All right, so we are going to rehost real quick. And I'm just going to stand by for a moment here. And it's go time. Yeah, bingo. So I think I saw on Reddit, like a while back, somebody made like a Party Elite bingo. Like on the Total War Reddit. Yeah, I think the lobby's glitched. It doesn't matter. We'll just jump back in here in a moment. Hopefully there's no like crashing or anything. Stormcast DLC. No! No, Humongous, no! I can't stand the Stormcast Eternals and all that. God, I'll go on a rant about that in a minute. Camel924 says, listening to this while assembling my Space Wolves. Oh yes, the Sons of Russ. Cool, man. I actually just read I read the Thousand Suns, and when the Space Wolves like do battle with the Thousand Suns, like in the Heresy era, it was really cool. Yeah, it was fun, man. Have fun with that, man. Cheers. Okay, I will, Garland. I'll mention that to Anna. Oh yeah, my wife's the best. Yeah. Here we go. So they're going to repick their armies real quick. No need to wait. Cool. Oh man, this army is going to be fun. I like it quite a bit. We're going to see if the Green Tide can take on the fierce Norscan hordes. I don't know. What I like... I'm not going to go on a huge rant about it because I want to focus on this game, but what I like about Warhammer Fantasy is that the men and men and women, or just the Empire in general, it's like, it's cool to see the ordinary, like, pike and shot halberds fighting against monstrosities and like dragging them down. I don't like the human characters to be like these giant, just like beasts, like Space Marine type. In 40K, I like it. It makes sense, right? Because humanity had to create these Space Marines to survive in this universe. But in like fantasy, I don't know. There's something about like, I mean, and arguably the same could be said for like Age of Sigmar. It's like, yeah, we had to create something greater. But in fantasy, I just prefer the thematics of like pike and shot and more the traditional Empire look rather than the Stormcast Eternals, who I feel like are just like a marketing ploy to make more Space Marine type characters. Because they've had success with Space Marines. Why not make like some fantasy equivalent that looks the exact same? Yeah. But I will play Age of Sigmar someday, but if I do play Age of Sigmar, I'm going to play the Dwarden, which are basically the Dwarves. So I'm going to be playing the Dispossessed. I'm literally just going to be stubborn and play the old Dwarves, which are now called the Dispossessed and have like no support. All right, so Screen Blocker is good. No drama there. And here we are, guys, in a very, very fierce cockfight, it would seem. So in the front line, we have the Orc Biggins. Biggins, of course, anti-large. They don't have the best armor piercing, but nonetheless, they'll be able to beat down Marauders, fight against Berserkers, and their anti-large bonus is pertinent against Fimir. Now, they do lack armor piercing, so the heavy armor of the Fimir is going to hurt a little bit, but they do have the support of Black Orcs. So there's going to be 3 Black Orcs in total, plus with the Wa and the Bonewood Staff. These Orc Biggins are just going to be lawnmowers. They're going to be pretty scary, but they're also going to take a beating from the Fimir, so it's going to be a very bloody affair. On top of that, we do have the Arachnaut Queen. So the Arachnaut Queen is going to be an interesting one. I don't think there's any Fimir with great weapons here, so they should be pretty good. I mean, the Arachnaut Queen has huge AP, so it's going to be able to hurt some of these Fimir warriors and some of these bigger targets. But guys, we have some big thickness over here. We got a Marauder Chieftain on a Mammoth with Fight or Die, and we do have a Frostworm as well. As far as magic for Norsca goes, they do have a Shadowcaster with Pendulum, which is pretty much like just the world beater against greenskin lines. So there's going to be some good stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Dispossessed in Age of Sigmar. Eventually, I'll make a dwarf army. Yeah. Okay, guys, the battle's underway. Norsca does also have a massive skirmishing corps. Marauder Horsemen coming in and doing a pretty good job. But the little Goblin Wolf Riders, they're trying their little hearts out. They got the shields at least, so they're able to mitigate some of that damage. But the Dragon's going to come in and they're going to buckle in a matter of seconds. Now, the frontline fight is about to be underway. Black Orcs piling in. The Pendulums, I think, are going to be the deciding factor of this game. But here come the Biggins. So the Biggins get in, and ooh, this Fimir's in a little bit of danger. I mean, he is a large target who's lightly armored. I mean, Biggins could cut him up real quick. If I were King, I might actually go in and just try and like snipe that guy out. But the Wa has been popped. The Biggins are engaging, the Black Orcs are engaging, and it looks like the primary fighting is underway. And there was some wild-ass rear charges coming in from these Goblin Wolf Riders. I think he was just trying to keep the army of Felkon from like falling back here. But the Dragon's up in the skies, lining up a breath attack, coming right down the pipe. And is it going to hit? It actually is a bit of a miss, so it just kind of clipped the back of those Black Orcs. We have like a King Kong versus Godzilla fight, as the Arachnaut Spider is going to be fighting up against this Chieftain. But it has the Wa, and here we go, putting its melee attack up to 140, so it's pretty much guaranteed to hit every time. FG of the Git has been popped as well, and Wurzog is just baconing around. He's very, very happy. He's comfortable. And things look to be going relatively well for the Greenskins. Granted, the Norskins have secured backline pressure. They do have a ton of these troops, like the Marauders and these other guys just running in. And, ooh, man, if Felkon isn't good about pulling these guys out of melee combat, the Biggins are going to get a ton of kills. But I like the fact that he's using the Marauder Horsemen as a bit of a cycle charging tool just to break the leadership of the Greenskins. Now, here is a very dangerous blob. Now, this blob is doing well in its own respect, but if a Pendulum or any sort of other AoE attack hits that, including a Dragon, just as I was saying it, I mean, that's so devastating. And the Pendulum wasn't even like right in the front. It just kind of clipped the back a little bit. Now, the Bacon is going to be fighting with some Biggins in the front, helping out against the Miststalkers. And the bounce power looks like it's going pretty well for Norsca. I think that, that the Pendulum play and just the fact that the Orcs are a little bit blobbed up here is definitely tough. So some of these Biggins are going to be coming in from reserve. Bounce of power a little bit in favor of Norsca, as they still do have the Dragon. The Arachnaut Queen's putting up a good fight, though. She's surrounded, summoning Spiderlings. But yeah, this Norscan pressure, I mean, these Marauder Horsemen are going to eventually be able to poke down this Arachnaut Queen with the help of the Dragon and the Mammoth. But a very pitched fight here. The Fimir are beat up here on the flanks. These Fimir warriors are down to 8 models. And it looks like these Miststalkers are a little bit beat up as well. But yeah, the other Fimir are quite healthy. And on top of that, they're going to be sundering the armor of the Arachnaut Queen down from its 150, which, I mean, every little bit helps, right? So the Biggins in the back, it looks like they're going to be wavering a little bit. There's a lot of terror here, but the Chieftain is actually getting dragged down. I think I might actually have these guys on the wrong side. No, I think we hosted correctly. Okay, anyways. Arachnaut Queen has gotten, here we go, in Fist of Work. It's really kind of trying to put the game on its back, but the Greenskins, for the most part, the Black Orcs and the other troops, are really just having issues with leadership. The Biggins, of course, I do not believe are immune to psychology. They're not. So they're going to be able to be terror-routed by the Dragon and the Mammoth. The Black Orcs did an okay job, but Fimir at their very core are pretty much a counter against Black Orcs, so it's going to be kind of tricky here. So the Baconator trying to go in and finish off the Marauder Chieftain. I mean, there is a chance that maybe if they could take out the Chieftain, from there they could kind of rally some of these Greenskin forces on the wings, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be enough with that full health Dragon. You can see there's going to be some leadership issues here from the Spider. I mean, there's just so much pressure. The Horsemen, and Felkon's also done a very good job with his Marauder Horsemen this game. Cycle charging, breaking leadership, because even if the Horsemen aren't going to do damage with their charge, a rear charge is going to hit leadership for -14. So immediately it's a massive leadership faction against a faction like Greenskins who really do struggle with that. So Felkon with very, very good Norsca play. He was able to do a great job there with the Fimir, the cycle charging from the Marauder Horsemen, getting some decent pressure attacks, and 900 gold, well, more because of the chevrons. 1,000 gold was pretty much useless for King of the Dead. The Goblin Wolf Riders did absolutely nothing, so that was a little bit tricky as well. But it was a cool build, getting to see a Marauder Chieftain on a Mammoth. The Balefiend Shadow play was really good. I think the Pendulums were another variable that really kind of took those guys apart. And yeah, the Fimir really anchored that army. So well played. Well played. And there was no missile pressure. I mean, the Greenskins, if they had a little bit of Goblin missile pressure, maybe, but it would have been hard to protect that back line against all these Marauder Horsemen and these other tools. So, all right. And that's 2-2, guys. These guys are just going straight up fisticuffs. It's a 2-2 series. Both players have won 2 games. And this is how like best of 7 should be, right? Just perfectly, just back and forth. This is great. So thank you guys for joining. And a couple donations as well. So let me shout those out and see what's going on here. And Radio, first time catching live. Thanks for the entertaining streams. A veteran previous tabletop player. Just glad we got to see total. Yeah, I'm so glad that the old world has been done justice by you know, Creative Assembly. They've done a great job. And then we got us. Is it Ivanek or Ivanek? I can't quite see if there's some sort of a marking on that. But thank you for the 5 zloty, man. Dziękuję bardzo. We got to see some monsters, guys. And here we are. So it looks like, oh, King's going to go with the beastmen. All right. So we're going to see his beast hordes against the, maybe the high elves again. We're going to see. And again, I have told the players that if both players agree to it, they're in chat together right now, like hanging out, I think. That they can play the same races as long as the matchup's different. They just can't play the same matchup again. So I don't mind that. It's fine. Yeah, the spider tribe, but those monsters, I mean, man, that frostworm is so good. I mean, I think the really devastating thing is the greenskins were so infantry heavy, and the infantry just got roasted by pendulums and breath attacks like all day. It was really, really gross. Drexel22, thank you for the sponsoring here on the channel, man. We're going to be doing I'm going to be chatting with Sotek probably today about the campaign we were talking about, so stand by for that, my friend. Turin, if you play Age, you know, I like the Fire Slayers. Like, I love anything dwarves, but I just, the fact that they're like, just they all look the same. When you see like a Fire Slayer army, it just looks like a bunch of naked dudes running at you. I think Slayers are better served as like a complementary piece to an armored dwarf army. I think like the contrast looks really cool. You got hot coffee, Garland? Oh yeah, dude, I need some coffee. Yeah, good game so far. But now the beastmen are going to be bringing the bacon to fight against this high elf horde. So let's go ahead and turn off the that guy there, that guy there. Oh, I'm not sure, Vincent. We'll look into it. Yeah. Yeah, Drexel, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun, my friend. All right, for the armies of the Beastmen. In the front line, we do have the Bestigor herds and the Koroks Manrippers. Good choices. Bestigor herds are going to be able to smash pretty much all high elf infantry with the exception of Swordmasters, which even still they do quite a bit of damage to. And what's really nice about Bestigors, they're stylistically speaking, is that they do a ton of shock damage, which is very effective against high elves because it gets rid of martial prowess. So that's going to be good. On top of that, we do have the Koroks Manrippers for some extra anti-large. We got Morkor the Shadowgave and a Deathcaster. Death, very, very good against high elves. Elite, you need the Fate of Buna against elite stuff they bring, and of course Spirit Leech, very good against dragons. For the rest of the army, we got a couple Spears, a couple Ungor Raiders against dragons, which I like quite a bit. The Destroyers of Drakewald in the back, which do have anti-large, and they also have poison, which is extremely useful. So yeah. Top of that, we do have the Razorgore herds here, the Bacon herds. I mean, they're relatively mobile, 70 speed, they have good armor piercing. But what's really cool about the Bacon herds is they also have okay mass. So if you need to like pin in a dragon or something like that, they serve a multitude of good purposes. We got a Cygor, which is going to force a battle to come to him. And in the back, we do have Centaurs and some Poison Hounds on both sides. I mean, it's a very good build by King here. I like it quite a bit. And for Felkon, it looks like we do have White Lions, which are an okay choice. They will lose the best scores, but they put up a good fight. And they are cheaper as well. We got Spears and a massive Cav Force. We do have Dragon Princes. Oh, the triple Dragon Prince. Just the fury, the thundering fury of these Cav is going to be coming in here. We got Reavers, and it looks like in the back we have a Walmart Dragon as well as Alariel the Radiant. So we're not going to be seeing the Shadow King again as we did in Game 1. But the Cygor is going to be throwing some boulders. I wonder what he's going to target. Honestly, I would probably target the Dragon Princes, even though they're a little bit tough to hit. I still think that every boulder you can land on them is just going to be so devastating. So the first boulder coming in, just giving these guys a haircut as it does fly over their heads. And it looks like some of these archers are going to be coming in, but the Raider archers actually should be able to kind of poke them back at the very least. But yeah, they have 140 range, so there is a little bit, you know, going for both players here. But yeah, the Dragon Princes just doing a bit of a Rohirrim lineup on the far side of the battlefield, thinking about engaging there. But that huge boulder right there, getting massive impact on top of the White Lions. And it looks like they lost how many models? They lost 10 models, which is definitely nothing to joke about. So the best scores are going to have a pretty good advantage in the front line, but I think this game is really going to come down to how effective can Felkon, number one, get his breath attacks off, and is his healing going to be efficient, and are the Dragon Princes going to get really, really juicy charges? There are a lot of spears, but none of these spears are like heavy AP, so the Dragon Princes aren't going to be like, you know, chumps against those, but if they do get dragged down by, you know, let's say Fate of Bunas and Chaos Warhounds and the Baconators with their armor piercing, it could be a little bit scary for them. So, another bolter coming in here, which is going to be making pretty square contact. Ooh, with those White Lines. Nasty stuff coming in from that Cygor. And yeah, here come the Reaver Archers and the Dragon. Dragon probably going to be going for a breath attack right down the pipe, I would imagine. Yeah, it's probably going to be going down the pipe. Yeah, it's just going to be trying to get good and tasty right here. The Raiders are going to be exchanging some fire here and forcing those guys back. And you can see here that Felkon is trying to rampage the Bacon herds. But that's a lot of Dragon Prince pressure. There definitely needs to be some rotation here. And here comes a breath attack right down the pipe. Ooh, that's going to do some damage. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks pretty bad. So very, very well played there by Felkon, getting that Juicy Breath attack. And the Destroyers are going to be rotating, Spears are rotating, and now he's kind of adjusting to this position. In the meantime, Cygor has switched its eyes onto the, or its eye, I should say. That was pretty good. That was good. It needs to switch its eye onto the Dragon Princes, and it looks like the first Dragon Prince charge is going to be going into these best scores here. It's going to be hammering these guys. Oh, he might have messed up. I think he was trying to path through and squeak through there, so a little bit of a mistake there not getting that charge. And the Baconators and the Poison Hounds pile in immediately, but there's going to be a big heal from Ilariel, and ooh, a pounding charge coming in from the back. These Dragon Princes going to go, but the Centaurs and the Bacon does intercept them with a nice Fade of Una, but nonetheless, that's going to be a pretty hammering charge. And look at that beautiful healing. I mean, that's just so much value right there. Korok's Man Rippers have engaged, Vestigors are going to be engaging as well. And the Ungor Raiders 100% need to switch on to the Moondragon. That is by far the best target they have. But the Bacon is doing its thing. The Fate of Buna has melted one of the Dragon Princes. It looks like Spirit Leech and Buna has gone off. And this is just a messy, just pit fight. The Moondragon's in pretty good shape. Cygor still firing. Morker, the Shadowgave, I think is waiting into the front line to apply his poison. And it looks like there's going to be some Terror Route as well as some Spears coming back in. So a little bit of scary stuff. One group of Dragon Princes 100% offline, but the Beastmen took some massive casualties there. But the Chaos Spawn Summon to the back is going to be helpful. Going to give some poison, and you can see the Dragon Princes also can't really escape easily now because the Chaos Spawn here are going to be pinning those guys down. And if you can get the Spirit Essence of Chaos on top of those Dragon Princes there, that would be extremely powerful. I'm not sure if he was able to get that off. But as far as the mainline fight, the Korok's Man Rippers and the best scores, unfortunately, it looks like King may have left those guys a little bit too long over there, but they're going to be piling back in. And we still have a pit fight. I mean, Morker is fighting with the Baconators, and the Centaurs are still helping out. Raiders are shooting in as well. But the Dragon Princes are somewhat healthy. There's still two of them. The third one is pretty much offline. It has 21 models and it's shaken. But yeah, these Hounds need to pull back because the Dragon Princes are going to come to butter that bread. Dragon Prince is getting a great charge here. The Hounds are going to be pretty much annihilated. Although some Vestigors might be able to pile in. I'm not sure if he's aware of this, but a big Cygor shot. Yeah, and the Cygor is still going to be able to get some pretty good value. I think what's going to end up happening is that the Beastmen will stabilize in this main front, and then from there he's going to end up like kind of fighting in a bit of a Helm's Deep around the Cygor. So there are Vestigors fighting over here, which is nice, and the Destroyers of Draftball, who are anti-large and, you know, have poisons. They're going to be able to kind of slow these guys down. A big Cygor boulder coming in with the Steel Boulder doing some great work. You can see Dragon Princes. And yeah, just a very, very tense fight. I mean, the bounce power is pretty damn even. I don't think anyone is in really a very advantageous state. Granted, I think that the Beastmen, once all their different elements wear off, so the two Chaos Spawn summons, I think the bounce power might be slightly in the favor of the High Elves. Dragon attack coming in on the Cygor here, but the Deathcaster is going to be jumping, and there are some Spears nearby as well. Korok's Man Rippers, of course, still fighting in the front line. Yeah, these Vestigors are very healthy. There's still 73 of them. They need to get back. So Baconators are going to be charging. The Bacon getting a nice charge on these Reavers, and we're going to see if they can stabilize. I mean, they're definitely pretty powerful, but Reaver Archers are one of the few kind of skirmish cav units in the game that are actually quite powerful in melee. So the Bacon is going to be going pretty hard into the Reavers here, but it looks like they're going to be able to finish them off, and the Beastmen reserves here in the back are pretty much taken offline. Now the Cygor is fighting against the Dragon, doing quite a bit of damage, but Ilariel probably has some healing, and it looks like there's going to be another Spirit Leech going down to the Princes. So what happens now is Morker needs to kind of hold and fight here. The Cygor needs to rotate up and through and run on top of the Korok's Man Rippers and the Vestigors, and these Chaos Spawn and everyone else need to just pile in hard right now. He needs to just form a pit fight. So here come the Chaos Spawn. They're going to be fighting against some of these Princes here, applying poison, but they are supported by Vestigors, and Vestigors, even though they're like meant for against infantry, they still have really good AP, so they're going to be able to put down a couple of these Princes most likely. But a very good Heart of Avalorn going down right here on the Moondragon, healing all those forces. That might be enough to kind of tilt the bounce of power a little bit, but Morker, the Shadowgave, is just an anchor. That guy is very, very tough to kill. And this is probably going to be the last of the healing we do see from the High Elves here, but it might be enough to pull them ahead on the bounce of power. And the big thing is this Cygor is just being kind of surrounded and beaten down. I mean, it's just not able to get back to its helping units here. If it was able to fall back and get on top of the Vestigors, I honestly think the Beastmen might be able to take this game because they are grinding down these Princes. The Princes are being taken out, but look at that. The Brave Shaman with Death actually being killed by something. I thought the Dragon was attacking the Cygor, so I'm not sure how he went down exactly, but the Korok's Man Rippers actually break just from the attrition and the fighting. Some Baconators are going to be charging in here, but it looks like the Dragon Princes might be able to take the day. Very, very close fight here, but the Cygor being taken offline, I think, is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. A very, very close game. A couple little nuances that I think could have changed the game for either player, but ultimately Felkon was able to get some really good heals. His Dragon Prince play was solid. He didn't commit the Dragon Princes to the blob. He was like riding around, he rode, he picked off all of the routing Beastmen forces before he came in for the coup de grace, or the death thrust, as they say. So very well played to Felkon in that extremely close game. So currently Felkon is up 3-2. If he wins his next game, the series is over. If he loses, we're going to be going to Game 7. That is going to be something, all right. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. So Wookiee, return to us, my noble creature. Felkon 3-2. It's a close series, guys. It's a close series. Anyone's game, that's for sure. So GG there. Got some popcorn in the kitchen. Oh, yeah. Don't you guys have phones? Oh my god, that was such a disaster. We do not talk about Dawn of War 3. Oh, man. Yeah, Bugman's Rangers do have regenerate, but other than that, they don't have any healing capabilities. So Felkon's going to be going Vampire Coast against Skaven. King of the Dead is a madman taking this matchup. I think this is a very hard matchup for the Skaven. Granted, they can win it. He's going for the hearts of the people. You know? L'Ariel with the Stealer's blood. That's too much, man. That's too much. Yeah. I'll be right back, guys, while they load this game up. Get some... Yes, I did not forget to unmute the mic for once in my my YouTube career. Wookie, thank you for your service yet again. Let's get these headphones in and get this show on the road, shall we? All right, my friends. Let's start worshiping Wookie. You would like that. Nathan Hewitt, thank you for the donation. Felkon with the Chad Skaven army to bring it home. No, it's not Felkon that's playing the Skaven. It's Felkon's playing the Vampire Coast. And King of the Dead is actually playing the Skaven. So... oh my god, are you guys seeing this? Alright guys, so for the forces of the Skaven, I do not know what to think about this army. I mean, he has warp fire throwers. He has a warp fire thrower. I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, if these guys perform well, man, I would be so excited to see that. So, anyways, guys, front line is going to be clan rats with spears and shields. I mean, they're going to be sacrificed for the horn rat for sure. But I think the name of the game is really going to be his Death Runner play. Now, Death Runners are really good for flanking. They also do have the Weeping Blades, which lowers armor of a lot of the bigger targets. He does have Warp Lightning Cannon, so 2 of those bad boys. Warlord on a Bonebreaker, which is good. Good armor piercing. Bit of a decent duelist by Skaven standards, especially with the support of an Assassin. Are they on the same map? I don't know. I gave them all the maps. No, I think we're on a new map now. And on top of that, we do have the Deathglow Bombardiers, a Doom Wheel. So a Doom Wheel is going to be pretty good against Depth Guard and Infantry, but it's very vulnerable to Focus Fire and High Mass Monsters. And yeah, I don't know. This is going to be pretty hog wild. As far as his magic, what does he have? Oh, please tell me you brought a caster. Where is his caster? Does he have one? Did he forget a caster? Oh yeah, we are on the same map. Gonna stay here. We can stay here. It's okay. Sorry about that, guys, but they're already in here. They're deployed, so let's just go with it for now. And where is his caster? Does he not have one? Oh man, that's a huge mistake if he doesn't have one. But we'll see if he's going to be able to pull it out. Yeah, neither of them mind. It's okay. But did they auto-gen? Oh my god, I think they auto-gened. Oh god. I think they might have auto-gen, guys. So for anyone who wanted an auto-gen game, so I think it was Eric Cartman who wanted that. Okay, that makes sense. So he auto-gened. That's explaining this build. I was like, why is there no caster? And why all the random units like Warpfire throwers and whatnot? Anyways, they're going to be coming in here. We do have the Gunnery White here, and we have a Carronade, a bunch of zombie guns, some crabs, some deck droppers, just the memes for days. And you guys actually get to see the new hand cannons. There's going to be 2 hand cannons here for the Vampire Coast and a bloated corpse. All right, guys, this is an auto-gen. With all of this on the line here, we're going to see if the proud Skaven can pull out an auto-gen victory. So throwing in a bit of a wild card here. But anyways, Vampire Coast moving forward. Deck droppers did get nerfed, and we are live in the Festog update, so I'm not sure how well they're going to perform, but it looks like the Warp Lightning Cannon's trying to snipe the Gunnery White. No, they're actually going for the cannons back here. They're going to be going after the Carronade. Oh, man, just brutal Skaven firepower coming in and punishing the Carronade in the back. But they're definitely going to want to switch onto those crabs. The Skaven are going to buckle pretty quick to that crab pressure, and I don't think that he got a caster either. No, he did. He got a polearm caster with death. So at least the Vampire Coast does have some magic, so... Yeah, and he probably would be proud, I'm sure, with his Trials of Tzeentch here. But anyways, the bats are going to be flying overhead. Probably going to take some pebbles to the face. I was like trying to assess this army. I was like, what is his thought process here about all these random units, right? But anyways, yeah. The bloated corpse is going to be, it looks like he's just going in. He's not even waiting for any cover. He's just going to be getting into something and trying to have some fun. Felbats are going to be sitting in the back of the army, obviously waiting for things to get close. And the Warpfire, oh my goodness, Warpfire, the Warpfire roasting those deck droppers there, which is hilarious. I mean, it's pretty rare you see things like that fly in range of those guys, but I don't think he was expecting those, that's for sure. In the back, the Felbats do attack, but they get kind of caught by the Death Runners, who I don't think he saw. And the Warp Lightning Cannons have switched onto the Vampire Fleet Admiral, who's getting pounded here. So the Vampire Fleet Admiral not having a good time, but he's going to be charging in. And ooh, this is not good and tasty. Not good and tasty at all. But it looks like there's going to be a Purple Sun or something going on here. Purple Sun, won't you come? And here comes the Bloated Corpse. Bloated Corpse is going to be sprinting to the front line. And oh, he's going to make it. Here he goes. Here he goes, baby. Bloated Corpse time. And good night, sweet clan rats. Oh my god, they just got eviscerated. Now, probably, I mean, it's funny. From a gold perspective, it's not even worth it. But the forces of Felkon definitely having some problems. I think that the Skaven are probably going to take this game. You know, the Tzeentch seemed to have favored his army here by giving him double Warp Lightning against all these crabs. Rotting Leviathan, of course, doing very, very good. And you can see that the Warlord and the Assassin are having a good old time. So anyways, the Doom Wheel is going to be pushing forward right here. It's going to be running through the hand cannons. Now, hand cannons did get a pretty substantial buff. They actually hit really damn hard if they can sit and shoot. But the Doom Wheel is going to be supported by some Clan Rats with shields. Doom Wheel also running over the Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob in the back. The Black Spot is also going to be shooting downtown and finishing off these Death Globe Bombardiers. So some things going well for both factions, but I think the fact that the Vampire Coast is leaderless is going to be a little bit tricky. And the Skaven do have a lot of Death Runners who are easily going to be able to maneuver, get in the back line, and kill all these ranged pieces, which I think is going to be one of the big deciding factors here. A couple Felbats flying up in the skies. It definitely would be a good idea for Felkon to grab those Felbats and maybe chase down the Globadiers and some of these other troops. I think that would be extremely efficient. But for the most part, Skaven leadership's pretty much intact. The Assassin's in good shape. The Rotting Prometheans are offline. Warp Lightning Cannon is still shooting, but there is a big kind of onslaught of Vampire Coast guns right here. But still, I just think that the Skaven Death Runners are going to be able to jump on those guys and just finish them off. The Warlord in the back is trying to salvage some of his troops by killing the Felbats, but I think he would be a little bit better suited over here. And you can see there's going to be some Skaven slaves coming back to apply some pressure, but the Death Runners have gotten in there, and they're going to probably lawnmower these guys. So some bombs coming in. The Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mobs with bombs have been buffed, but they still kind of suck in my opinion. I don't think they really do much, but the hand cannons definitely are not bad. Death Runners in the meantime are going to be jumping on the Black Spot. The Black Spot's going to get melted in a matter of seconds. It'll probably be like 30 seconds. Those guys will be gone. And the Warlord on the Bonebreaker piling in. So it looks like, guys, I think we're going to be going to Game 7. And I'll make sure to tell them not to auto-gen for Game 7 so we can actually get a real gauge of the true victor here. But alas, the auto-gen, the Skaven Hordes were able to pull it out. He had good positioning. It was an open field map, and, you know, things went pretty well in that respect. So, yeah, and we'll make sure to change the map and everything. Yes. Yes. So yeah, Death Runners are killing the back line. The Bonebreaker's just going to come and annihilate this Gunnery White in a second. Doom Wheel should probably get back here as well. I mean, even the lowliest of Skaven chaff is, I mean, maybe not Skaven slaves, but, you know, Clan Rats and things like that can pretty easily beat most of the Gunnery mobs at the end. The Warpfire Throwers are dead. I'm pretty sure they got routed off by some of the Felbat pressure. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. The Warp Lightning Cannon crew is coming back, but the shotguns are online. You guys want to see the shotguns? What are they aiming at right now? Looks like he's trying to give out face and maybe take some pot shots here at the crew. Come on. Blast them with hand cannons. Doesn't look like they're going to get it off. Ooh, look at that. That's so cool. I love those things. And they actually hit really hard. Their armor piercing is pretty solid. Felbat's jumping into some of these Skaven Slave Spears, and it looks like the Warlord and company are just going to be beating down the Gunnery White in the back. So, yes. Yes, yes. I can't believe those Skaven Slave, or the Warpfire Throwers lasted as long as they did. That's going to be it. So, King of the Dead normalizes the series, and now it's 2-2. Or 3-3. We're here in Game 7. Apparently these two gentlemen are quite evenly matched. Dwarf Furious. No, I'm not salty for it. It's just like, you know, it's hard because like one player's army is just so much better than the others. All right, so let's go ahead and do this, and yeah, that's it. We're going to game 7, guys. Game 7 it is. Bone Breaker is the best breaker. All right. GG. No auto-gen last game. All right. We're letting them know they got to play for keeps now. Eric Cartman is in heaven. He's been asking for auto-gens for a long time, so hopefully he was here for this. Yes, yes. We did do an auto-gen tournament many moons ago. It was a long time ago. I like auto-gen as a bit of a gimmick, like an offshoot thing, but like as a regular content, I guess it's entertaining. It's more entertaining if you do auto-gen versus a non-auto-gen army to see if you can win as like a challenge than it is 2 auto-gen armies, in my opinion, because there's not, like, then you can't really discuss tactics and army picks. It's kind of just like random. So, yeah. All right, guys. So we're here in Game 7 of this Best of 7 showdown between King of the Dead and Felkon. We have a 3-3 series on our hands, which is going to be pretty good and tasty. The Bloated Corpse got a lot of kills. Yes. I believe we're on Troll Country for this last map. So it's going to be Jawi versus Beastmen. And now it's our worst factions. So no auto-gen turn. Good. So both players, I think, are playing some of their weaker factions here, but it's going to be interesting. I think that this is a hard matchup for the Dawi. I think Beastmen have an advantage, but the Dwarves, if played correctly, can win this matchup. For sure. Laboratory survival battles. Dwarf Furious says, wow, really, Dwarfs? Well, okay, I was already rooting for you, King of the Dead. For the Ancestor Gods. I've actually been playing a ton of Dwarves lately, and I honestly feel like they're my best faction. Right now, like, if I were to play in a tournament, I would just want to play Dwarves. They're nice, because, yeah, I love their playstyle. Okay, I see what King's working with here. I see what he's working with. And we got a donation as well on PayPal from Red. Let's see. For 149 PLN. So that's like 30-40 bucks. So thank you so much, Red, for the donation on PayPal. My apologies for missing that earlier in the heat of commentary, but thank you so much for the Zlatus, man. It was a good troll. The Bloated Corpse did good. I mean, it killed one clan rat. I wouldn't say Dwarfs are top tier, but I mean, in the hands of the right player, they can beat anyone, but I think that Dwarves are very tough to play. And they have so many hard counters. You have to work pretty damn hard as a Dwarf to beat, like, even just like a simple Chaos Great Weapon list. But it can be done. I actually had a replay I played against Romulan Dog a couple days ago, where he played like a really competitive Chaos list, and my Dwarf list was able to take it down. But unfortunately, the replay file got corrupted, so... For Valaya, I know. Yeah, Dwarves are good. They're good. It's kind of unfortunate, though, because, like, Dwarves have the problem of Footlords, you know? It's like, the only competitive Dwarf Lords are Runesmiths and Rune Lords, or Rune Lords, I should say. It's just, like, the other Dwarf Lords are just all, like, mediocre, unfortunately, which really makes me sad, because I love them. I love, like, Ungrim's badass. Thorgrim's a gangster. Like, they're such cool characters thematically. But they just waddle and get kited and are very inefficient in the battles. Because Dwarves have to play spread out and like use gun lines and stuff or bow lines. And it's just like, why would you pick like those Dwarf Lords who are just going to be running around this massive battlefield? It's really unfortunate. John Hook says, Turin, as Beastmen, do you go Minotaurs, Cygors, or just swarm with Bestigors? It really depends. Oh, in this matchup? In this matchup, I would bring a ton of Bestigors, a couple Ungor herds and Vanguard just to go fight Slayers in the back line and harass. I would probably bring a couple Razorgore chariots, one Harpy to make sure there's no gyrocopter shenanigans, a couple Raiders to shoot Slayers as well, and just get in there. It's really tough. I wouldn't bring Centaurs with Grey Opens. I think chariots are the better pick. Yeah, just go wide. Yeah. Yeah, you just go super wide with Bestigors and chariots, and you can use Cygors too. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Like you can use Malagor for Cygor summons if you want. Just like get 2 over the course of the game. It can be pretty strong. All right, Wookie, thank you. This friggin' thing is just, yeah, good enough. Good enough. All right, so we got rid of the screen blocker here, and this is it, guys. This is game 7. This furious showdown between the Dawi. We're gonna have some miners and Vanguard here with blasting charges. which are pretty good against chaff. I mean, Bestigor herds, yeah. And you can see here that I just think that if you're not a dwarf main and you're playing against, you know, any random person as the beastmen can simply just spam like great weapons and just go crunk. And like for dwarves, you have to bring thunders in this matchup. I really, as much as I mean, I guess he does have giant slayers and things like that to help out, but it's going to be really tough to deal with all this armor. So for the dwarf army, he's got miners. He does also have warriors with Dragonfire Pass, longbeards with great weapons, which are a good choice. In the back, he does have Bugman's Rangers, which are good against a lot of Beastmen stuff, but not against Bestigors and Chariots. They're going to be a great counter pick against Centaurs with Throwing Axes. And, but yeah, I don't know. This many Bestigors, how many does he have in total? It looks like 1, 2, 3, and then 2 Chariots, I think, in total. 2 Chariots plus a caster on the Chariot. Okay. For his kit, he does have a Rune Lord and a Rune Smith, which is pretty competitive. He does have 3 Slayers in the back, 2 Giant Slayers, which are very good against Chariots. And they will be able to put up a fight against Bestigors, but you do not want to be taking that fight. Dragonback Slayers, of course, a staple in pretty much every competitive build. So that's going to be the Dwarf army. My big concern is they don't have Thunders and they don't have like a cannon or something. Honestly, just going with like 3 or 4 Thunders is good because they kill Bestigors, they kill Centaurs. Like the Bugman's Rangers in this matchup, I don't think are going to be as good, and it might cost him the game. And for the Beastmen herds, he does have Bestigor herds. He's got a couple of groups of spears, and then he does also have a Brace Shaman with Lore of Death, so Spirit Leech and Purple Sun. Safe stuff. And on top of that, 2 groups of Centaurs with Throwing Axes, which are very good. You just kind of set them on the wings and get some freebies. You can also Cycle Charge. Chaos Warhounds, and it looks like Khazrak One Eye vanguarded in the corner. So he's going to be coming in on his Pimp Chariot. He's got his whip. He is ready to party. So yeah, it's go time. If I had to make a pregame prediction, I would say that this Beastman army is going to be really tough to deal with, but it's certainly possible. There is some great weapons, and the rune magic from the Dwarfs can punish these Bestigors. If he's able to kind of just efficiently get Runes of Wrath and Ruin on both of these Bestigors and just wear them down and use the Slayers to fend off the Chariots, there is a chance that this Dawi force can win. So Dwarves are going to be going with their blasting charges. I mean, you might as well throw them at whatever you can. The first volleys of the Bugman's Rangers coming in, but the 100 or 95 armor of the Bestigors is really going to be super solid there. There are some Hounds coming in the back, but the Slayers should be able to just easily deal with those guys. But here comes the first charges. So the Chariots coming in, and it looks like the Giant Slayers are going to be intercepting. But this is where, like, Thunders would be super good to just punish them on the advance. And Bugman's Rangers, they're doing an okay job. Blasting charges really just kind of faltering the charges of the Beastmen, but these Miners are going to be cut to pieces pretty badly here. Hounds in the back are just kind of sitting and waiting, but Khazrak One Eye is going to be coming in with his Chariot and cleaving a couple of these Rangers. Centaurs with Throwing Axes getting some pretty healthy fire, but I mean, that was actually a pretty good play by King. He was able to actually fend off the Brace Shaman with the Lore of Death, but look at this. This is kind of a bit of a trap, right? Purple Sun is going to be going down here. Ooh, no, that is not good. Oh, that is nasty. Those Giant Slayers and those Longbeards just got destroyed. I mean, thankfully for the Dwarves, it did kind of punish the Ungors a little bit, but still, I don't think it was enough. Anyways, King of the Dead is going to need to grab his Slayers and start defending here. He's going to be going after old Khazrak, pulling back the Miners as well. And he has kind of secured this part of the battlefield, so if the Dwarves can kind of do a tactical retreat, pull back the Bugman's Rangers over here and kind of cordon off the Beastmen, I think they might be able to stabilize. Bestigors in the front are going to be wavering against the Grumbling Guard, who are very, very powerful. And it looks like the Bugman's Rangers are going to be doing a retreat. But for the most part, the Beastmen have a slight advantage in regards to the bounce of power. Dwarves are fighting here, Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down, which might allow the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass to actually win that fight. But Bestigors in the back, just the sheer number of like AP troops and the fact that he doesn't have too much to punish them with is really just starting to take its toll. The Bestigors are getting in the back, and they're going to be fighting Giant Slayers, which is not a cost-effective trade for the Dwarves. But at the very least, he does have a sandwich. The Bestigors are pinned in between Miners and Giant Slayers, who do have respectable armor piercing. In the front, you can see a couple of these Longbeards with great weapons fighting the Chariots, but the Beast Herds are just kind of running a little bit too wild. Centaurs with Throwing Axes are chasing down the Miners over here. Centaurs with Throwing Axes here doing their thing. And these Chariots are just, yeah, they're in pretty good shape still, which is unfortunate. Razorgore Chariots do a ton of damage against Dwarves. I mean, just massive armor piercing on those bad boys. So the Giant Slayers and the Miners should be able to win this fight against Bestigors over here. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass might be able to narrowly win that simply because of their leadership, just being very, very stout folk. Very good stuff here from Felkon. He's just going to be using the Centaurs to chase down the Rangers here, make sure to kind of polish those guys off. And yeah, Bugman's Rangers are online, but you know, Razorgore Chariots have 100 armor. That's why you need Thunders. You cannot win this matchup, in my opinion, with just Bugman's Rangers. I think having a mixed force isn't bad either, like 2 and 2, 2 Bugmans, 2. Ooh, but this, if they can get Khazrak here, yeah, but his mass is so good, he's going to be able to pull through that and really cause some problems. The Rune Lord and the Rune Smith are still healthy though, which is good. They might be able to form a bit of a Dawi Death Star. But Centaurs with Throwing Axes are doing their thing. There's just Bestigors. There's Bestigors here, and these ones are finally getting grounded down. But still, it's going to be a really tricky. A Rune of Wrath and Ruin is going to be going down on the Chariots to try and as a slowing effect, because Rune of Wrath and Ruin does damage per model. It doesn't do like damage like just a flat damage, so it's not good against like single targets. Aside from its slowing effect, so he's trying to slow it. And he's getting some decent value from the Giant Slayers there. And the other Chariots are also getting beaten up, but the Purple Suns have just been devastating. So another Purple Sun coming in, which is going to do huge damage here. And oh man, that is nasty, nasty, nasty. It's tearing firing up a lot of those dwarves there. And you shouldn't be afraid to use magic against dwarves. It's definitely pretty powerful. So Bugman's Rangers have stabilized a little bit. They pulled back and are going to be forming a secondary firing pocket. Slayers are pretty much on their last legs. You have 23 Slayers right here, and it looks like 16 Dragonback Slayers, which are going to lose to those Bestigors pretty hard. So at this point, it looks like the Beastmen are going to be taking this game. And like I said, you need to really know how to play dwarves to deal with this type of like chariot and heavy armor piercing play. You need to go super wide with Thunderers, I think. Even a cannon is really good. Cannons punish the Beastmen chariots pretty damn hard. And after this game, I'll actually show you guys, before we close out the stream, I'll show you guys a build that's really, really good against the Beastmen with the proud Jawi people. So the Runesmith is going to be chasing down Kazrak, but on his chariot, he's going to be too swift, and that's pretty much going to be army losses. Well played to both players, guys. So let's hear a big round of applause for Felkon. He's able to take the series 4-3, so it went to Game 7 today. So very evenly matched between these two players for sure. And hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Yeah, I mean, Beastmen is one of the hardest matchups for the Dwarves in general, and but you have to play it pretty high and tight and really have like a solid competitive list, or else it's going to be very, very tough. But let's hear it, guys. Felkon taking the victory. It's just a matter of time before he cleans up the Dwarves. So he's won the last 2 of these best of 7. So we're going to see if we can find a champion to take down the Felkon in future weeks if he's interested. But man, he's been playing very well. But King of the Dead had some beautiful games today, especially with his undead factions like the Vampire Count and the Tomb Kings. He put on a clinic against the Wood Elves earlier. So well played to both of these guys. Well played. It was awesome. GG. GG, guys. Golf clap. Yeah, so well played to King of the Dead and Felkon. But yeah, the name of he just didn't have enough AP. He put up a good fight and was able to do some damage against Bestigors. But yeah, you really just need to have more armor piercing guns and whatnot. Yes. Well played, well played. So let me tell these guys well played. Until next time. Well played to King of the Dead and Felkon. And King of the Dead does stream on Twitch, so there will be a link to his channel. And King, if you'd like to drop a link in chat, please feel you're more than welcome to do that. And I don't know if Felkon streams anywhere, but I'll have to ask him. So if he does, I'll make sure to include a link. But great games today, back and forth stuff. So well played to these guys. And now tier list of best artillery, crews, and melee. Ooh, Queen Bess is pretty strong. She's unbreakable. But so here, this is, and someday I will eventually make like dwarf lists for you guys, so you can just go to the video. But here's what you do against Beastmen. You go with the Rune Lord because he's very, very solid. He's just like a safe bet. And from here, honestly, you just go with 4 Thunders. These guys are going to do the trick. You get a couple Dwarf Warriors with great weapons in the front line because at least they have some AP. You can get a couple Miners just to stagger the charge of the Beastmen in the front. 1 Cannon. And then you want to get Dragonback Slayers and you want to get Giant Slayers because Giant Slayers are a very good choice there. But again, it's very important to go super wide. You need this Thunderer Fire to just pound those guys. And you can get a second Runesmith. I think that's going to be a good choice as well. And just like this. Yeah, so Bestigors are going to be taking Focus Fire from 4 Thunders. The Slayers should be able to amply protect them, but you also have constant Cannon Fire. That's just going to be wailing into the Beastmen forces. You can even get a 3rd Slayer. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. All right, so something like this. And then from here, you have a little bit more money. So I think you just want to get like more bodies to kind of just fill. So Longbeards with great weapons, and then, yeah, but if you cut this guy, you can get a second Longbeard with great weapons, which gives you some really solid sustainability. And from here, you just get another Dwarf Warrior with great weapons. Something like this is what I would probably run. I think it gives you plenty of tools against the Beastmen, and yeah, it can do a very good job. Yeah, that was a great showcase today, guys. Yeah, the autogen match was absurd. Yeah. Yeah, he autogened as well. Yeah. Matthew Giannotti. I don't know about the best artillery list, but anyways, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for joining today for this best of 7 showdown between King of the Dead and as well as Felkon. And hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing them play, and they'll be brought back for tournaments. You're going to be seeing Felkon in the Eternal Challenger League Grand Finals on February 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the channel, and it's going to be good. There's a very close series for sure. Althar's Raiders are pretty good. I honestly think just going straight to business is really good against Beastmen, just something like this. This is actually pretty much the exact same as my Chaos list. I play against Chaos and Beastmen like the same way. Dwarf Warriors will take like 30% off the Bestigors, especially, but if you're using Rune Magic and Thunder or Overwatch Fire, you can just nail them. And then you keep the Longbeards with Great Opens in reserve and use the Miners to kind of take the beating on the flanks and whatnot. And it works really well, honestly. It's a solid build. But guys, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, we'll have a link to your stream, King. Don't you worry about that. And we will see you guys soon. As far as the next stream, I think tomorrow I'm going to be streaming a head-to-head campaign against Italian Spartacus on Wednesday. I'm trying to stream a lot more often. And then on Saturday or Sunday, I'll be doing either a Flash tournament, a 2v2. We might do a 2v2 tournament this weekend, a Gotrek and Felix. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys in the next few days. Oh, let me update the scoreboard just for posterity. So Felkon is going to take that 4-3. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. And thank you so much for the donations. You guys were super generous today. So thank you to Matthew, Nathan, Drexel22 for becoming a member here on the channel. Ivanek, I think that's how you say that. Rado, Camel, Itis, Hypnotize, Leo, Rando, Cheap Death, Zardar Total War, Job Plays, paying his union dues, Nathan Hewitt, Sam Hadfield, and yeah. Then also on the PayPal, we had a donation from Red. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Cheers, guys.